Can you give a definition of AI in 2 sentences?
We are around 30 employees.
What is your turnover, your earnings, your growth per year? Describe us, what do you do here right now?
Now it will be recruitment, definitely.
Caroline, hello.
Hello, nice.
Thanks for taking time and talk about your job here at B12, about what do you do, about the atmosphere, about the future, about your job, etc. Can you please present yourself in a couple of words? What do you do, what's your name, and when did you start working for B12?
So I'm Caroline. I'm a project manager here. I started 3 years ago now as an associate first in data science. And then after a year I was promoted to project manager.
Okay.
Which I hope means I worked well.
All right. Okay, project manager, what does it mean?
It kind of means you're responsible for a project. So from the start, where you maybe do a bit the analysis of the client needs, you write the offer together with one of the partners. And then we get a team and we coordinate the team. We discuss with them on a daily basis what are the priorities each day. On a weekly basis, we talk to the client to see well, what are their priorities, if they're happy with our work, if we still align on what we need to do. So,
are you responsible for the whole value chain?
I certainly feel responsible for the whole value chain. So I don't know if I like to think that everybody is responsible for everything that they do. So in that sense, I'm responsible as everybody is. So you have to understand that we don't deliver in one go. We deliver all along the project functionalities as soon as possible. So it doesn't feel like we're doing something and then we deliver it and then we send it.
No, you deliver
like continuously,
steps.
Yeah.
All right, okay. When you do the offer, what is the margin that you include in the offer? You know the cost, what would be the margin?
With experience, you know, this block is going to take us so much time from a developer, from a data scientist, from a designer, and then a bit of project management on top. So you calculate actually the time that you estimate it's going to take to do it. And then at each level or at each role in the company, we have a fixed cost per hour.
How much is it?
It's at 70
euro per hour. This is the price for the client or this is your cost?
This is the price.
This is the price for the client.
Price of the client. So, Geoffroy, you told me that you have a tangible application.
Yes.
Geoffroy showed me that. I said, what remote control it is? He said, no, it's not. It's a device.
It's a device. It's not to play with the television.
No?
No.
Let's try, maybe it will work. No, it doesn't switch on. Okay, what's that? Tell me.
So this is something that has been designed by a company in the US to help the students to make labs, physics labs. It's just a device with a different number of sensors. There is an accelerometer, a gyroscope, something to measure the magnetic fields.
Inside the device?
Inside this device, we can measure also the light, measure the sound. And the idea is to use this kind of device to make labs. This device is connected via a dongle, a USB dongle, which is plugged in the computer.
How much does it cost?
$100, I think. So what we did, in fact, we developed the software to interact with this device. And in fact, it was one of the first projects that we did at B12.
Do you develop? Do you do the analysis? Do you?
To be honest, less and less so. So because I manage more and more, and so I don't have so much time left to actually do development. Not because I don't want to, but I think I'm more needed and I have priorities somewhere else. Also, when you start developing this, you have to put yourself in the project, and that takes a lot of time. So context switch is not very good for that.
Okay, so how many developers work for you right now for your project?
6 or 7, I would say, like that, on the top of my head.
Okay, how do you become project manager?
I think first you need some seniority because I think a good project manager, one of the things that he has to be able to do is take some higher view on the things and not look too much in the details. You have to be able to understand the details, but also to be able to see the project as a whole, and I think it's something you acquire with experience.
What is your next step in your personal development here within B12?
So I've been offered the chance of becoming a partner in B12, so that will be the next step.
How does it work? Did they already explain to you how does it work?
We actually had a lot of discussions, so the idea is that we buy some shares and then we...
Some, how much? How many?
That's a very good question, which is a very big part of the discussion. So this first we have to see what money we can bring on the table, and
at some point of time you will have to evaluate the company.
Yes.
How do you do that?
I mean, it's a negotiation, I think.
It's a demand and offer process, right? So ultimately, it will be a balance between, you know, what we are ready to give and the price and what people are ready to pay. And
So I can show you if you want.
Sure.
Sure?
Of course.
Sure? Okay.
Yes.
So I need to select the device.
The measure you want to measure.
For example, the accelerometer.
Okay.
Do you know what is an accelerometer?
Sure.
Could you explain me?
This is the variation of speed.
Yes, the variation of speed. So here, there's no variation of speed.
Of course.
Okay.
If it's the speed is constant, there is no acceleration as well.
There's no acceleration. So I will start record the acquisition.
All right.
And you can see the time flows, and you see that there is no variation. Take it with your hand.
If I will take it, then it will be like acceleration.
Exactly.
But nothing now, or the small one. All right. Okay. If I will go faster, then the acceleration is going to be faster. It's a nice toy.
So this is something that you can use to make some different experiments, but there are different sensors.
But not only in university, this can go to secondary school, to high school.
Exactly.
It's excellent, just to explain what's an accelerometer, what acceleration is, what the speed is, just to show you the result. Yeah. So, is it possible to buy it today?
Yeah.
What is the website? Where should I go?
iUlab.
You found this, and you
iUlab
will
is
be able
written here.
you will be able to buy this kind of toy, and you will know that software for this toy has been developed by B12. I think they should start playing with this in high school, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yes, clearly.
And what is the evaluation of B12 today? According to you, it's 100,000?
it's between 100,000 and 100 million, you're right.
Okay, but
you're right. It's a good
seriously? Well, let me do the work. What is the turnover of B12?
It's about 2 million.
2 million right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
A bit more, yeah.
Okay. You are growing every year or not?
Yes.
How many percent?
15 to 20.
15 to 20, yeah.
15 to 20, okay. All right, okay. What is your EBITDA?
We are targeting 20%.
20%. Okay, so 20% makes it 400,000 EBITDA times 6 or 7. Makes it 2.4, the valuation of the company?
Then there is a building, there are fixed assets and things like that.
Fixed assets is, let's take it out. Let's not take it into consideration.
But that's in the valuation.
I mean,
they're included in the company.
It belongs to the company?
It belongs to the company, right.
Right, okay. So it's something in between, something there. And if you will buy 2%, this makes it something like 50,000? What is your background? How to become, how to work in AI?
So I studied mathematics, then I did some physics for a while, then I went to work for a company who did service in education. So I did a PhD in physics, and then I did that for a while, so I got more in like social science. And then we moved around with my husband. We went to Germany for a few years and then to Switzerland. And then when we came back, I actually had the opportunity to do another PhD in survey methodology. So I have a PhD in social science too.
Is not the problem to have several PhDs because then you are overqualified?
Maybe I was lucky, but this is the first place where I applied and I got the job. So maybe I just applied to the right place.
All right, it's the right
And
moment.
we know the value of a PhD.
Exactly.
So what about two PhDs?
Exactly.
So yeah, I think there's 30% of people here who have a PhD, no?
Yeah. 20?
30%.
30%. So if you have a PhD and you're looking for a job and you have received already refusals from your future potential employers saying you're overqualified, just try to send your CV at what email?
Jobs at b12-consulting.com.
Jobs at b12-consulting.com. And please put in the title coming from entrepreneurship in life, and they should receive some bonus or something. I don't know. Maybe
first discussion.
They will be invited in priority compared to another candidate.
For sure, it will
impact positively.
It will positively impact for sure.
Caroline, do you have anything else to add?
No, thanks for the opportunity to share my happiness to be.
Excellent. Okay, good to know that. And thanks for your emotional side.
Thank you.
Sometimes it's very difficult to have some emotion, but it's not your case.
Thank you.
Thank you, Caroline, and maybe, I don't know, we'll see each other in several years, whenever you will be not 30 persons, but 300 persons, and you will be one of the managers. I would like just to plunge now more specifically to the sales process. How does it work? What are different stages to get to the final product and to propose it to the client?
It starts by the word of mouth, where people talk about us and about the quality of our services. So it's the first way we get in touch with our prospects. And then we have a first discussion either on premise or here in our offices or by code now, very often. And yeah, we discuss about the most complex challenges or the top challenges. And then we look and we discuss with them to see how AI or custom software development can help them.
And then we make an offer, which is a budgeted offer. And then it's up to the client to accept it or not.
Okay.
Discuss about the most complex challenges or the top challenges. And then we look and we discuss with them to see how AI or custom software development can help them.
And then we make an offer, which is a budgeted offer. And then it's up to the client to accept it or not.
Okay. Wendy, hello.
Hello.
Thanks a lot for the cake.
You're
that we
welcome.
ate. Please tell us what kind of job do you do at B12?
I'm doing design, but a lot of different parts of the design.
In IT, can you please describe what design is?
We need to design before coding, and that's what I'm doing here. So I start to discuss with the client, okay, what do you want to do? And we start drawing some wireframe.
So you are drawing.
Yeah.
What software do you use?
For drawing, I only use paper to do quick draft.
In order to mount an IT project, what's happening is that first of all discuss of the objective, of the goals of the project with the client. Whenever he accepts it, you send Wendy to the client, a graphic designer, in order to show how it's going to look, what will be the final result of the visual aspect of the IT project.
Yeah.
And then on that project there will be colors, there will be buttons, there will be logos, there will be banners, there will be signatures, there will be different pages, etc., etc. And whenever the client says okay for, well, basically he said already okay for the functionalities, now he has to say also okay for the design.
Yes.
And whenever this is approved, then all these plans, all this design is going to the development team, and they are starting to work not only on the functionality part, but also on the design part.
I'm coding the design part too.
All right.
I'm doing everything.
Multifunctional, she's multifunctional. And in what IT software do you do design?
I use WebStorm to coding. WebStorm.
WebStorm.
Yes, for the code part, and I use the Adobe Creative Cloud to design everything before coding.
How many years do you work at B12?
5 years and a half now.
Yep. As far as I understood, Wendy, she was a graphic designer, infographist.
Yeah.
And then at some point of time she decided to do the coding for the design as well. So she's an open-minded person, she likes to learn. This is just a message for the owners, for the entrepreneurs to be open regarding their employees in order to give the opportunities to the employees to evolve within the same company. It's important to be free, to have a larger view and not to set limits for their evolution within the same company. This is a question regarding the fact that you have a lot of PhDs here. We said that it's about 30% of your staff. And my question was related more to the average price of the invoice for such a profile per day. And I already got my answer. It was 70 euros per hour.
That's more for design.
For design?
Yeah,
right.
Design.
What is the price for a PhD?
For a PhD is in the range of 900.
How do you contact your clients? How do you find them?
So first there is the outbound, so where we make many outreach activities.
Like what?
For example, we created a podcast recently about AI.
We are also organizing events, for example conferences, where we are presenting cases of what we did on specific projects. We're inviting people from different industries, prospects and so on, so that they can see in practice what we do.
Can I see your screens?
It's an internal project.
It's an internal project you're working on, okay. Codeur de la Galaxie.
It's an internal project for recruiting, so we want to...
Right, we talked about that already, okay?
Codeur de la Galaxie. It's the design of the game that we will propose to people. and they will try to create a new artificial intelligence. Sorry.
So, and you are working in Photoshop.
Yes.
And the other screen is Facebook and Instagram. No, I'm joking.
No, it's the content.
When do you want to add something to the videos?
I don't know if people are interested by design. They should maybe do some research, because I think it's not a work that everyone knows. When I was young, when I said to my parents I want to be a designer, they was like, "What is that?" So I think it's a great work, and people should be more aware.
Well, basically, the design people, they can also find work at the IT companies.
Yeah.
It has to be visually nice to watch and to see it. This is why this is a lot of work from the designers. So if you're a designer, you always can find a place at an IT company.
Yes.
And afterwards, it can evolve in going to the IT coding in order to develop a code which will represent your design in the software itself. Okay, excellent. Wendy, thanks a lot for
You're welcome. Thank you.
No, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. AI for Belgium, does it help? Do they help?
Yes, it helps. It helps because it helps with the general awareness of AI. I mean, they are doing a great job at making other companies aware of what AI is and what it could be useful for. It's also a big networking opportunity.
How do you motivate your staff? Is there a fixed salary or also a variable one? Do you propose stock options?
So it's a fixed salary.
It's a fixed salary. Is there
with a team bonus?
Team bonus, how does it work?
So we have a metric regarding the performance of the company. I would say the revenue over the cost. And then given some thresholds, they get a different amount of bonus. But it's a team bonus, so there are no...
all the same for everyone?
The same for everyone. Yeah.
Depends on the different, the experience and the level, I would say, the company, but it's the same for the same level.
Okay, this is a motivational factor. What are the three things to change in the Belgian education system?
The mindset of the student at the end of their study, the low-level study. They don't understand clearly what's the goal of the technologies, not the goal of technologies, but what we can achieve. And they consume technologies because they have smartphones and things like that, but I'm not sure that they understand that they can impact also this world, the world where we make this kind of thing.
I think, to me, in Belgium, we could afford, to add 2 or 3 hours of initiation to STEM, on the top, STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math, very broadly. And we can see this. I mean, there are initiatives out there where people are coming to schools and showing what their job is about and so on. But I think we're teaching math in a different way, teaching science in a different way. For example, all the 3 of us are physicists. We are always a little bit depressed to see how allergic young students are to physics, because they've been learning physics in a very weird way sometimes. And they become completely allergic to physics when it's time to come to university. So they try to avoid naturally any field where there is physics.
So we better work on the secondary studies.
Even primary. I would definitively change the primary program.
It's a very difficult problem, but the situation is clear. There's a lack of motivation of young person and the person to understand the surrounding of the world and to understand deeply in which world they live, and it's something.
So we have to change it on the source at the primary school from 6 to 12.
Even before. I think there are plenty of things you can do at school to learn programming, for example, with just a sheet of paper. You don't need at all. You have small games which are just mechanical games that can really help learning. If you don't know Turing Tumbler, for example, that's a fantastic game to learn computing and algorithmic, no electronic, nothing, and you learn really the essence of what programming is.
Yeah, there's a pretty good book to read, it's La Fabrique du crétin digital.
Okay.
Written by a French researcher.
Okay.
About the impact of digital solutions on kids.
Right. Okay. You know that I'm finishing all the interviews by a TikTok, just to illustrate the human face of each one of us, because I want to always show that we are natural. I want that everybody, all the subscribers that are watching you, I want them to see your human face and how you are naturally when you are home. And this is, TikTok allows, I think, according to me, allows this to see that. Are we okay for TikTok?
What do you mean by difficult?
Just say yes.
Yes.
Thank you for the interview.
What do
Thank
you
you guys for the
expect?
interview. Thank you guys. Thanks a lot. And we're going for the TikTok.